This is the first principle of mindfulness that I would like to teach you. We call it mindfulness of thought. And here's how it works. Mindfulness of thought is not thinking about thinking, because there's far too much of that going on already. Mindfulness of thought is not arguing with your thoughts, because now you've got two of them up there. That wasn't bad enough. Mindfulness of thought is simply watching your thoughts, observing your thoughts without engaging with them, without, if there's a thought there that's useful and you choose that thought, then engage with it, give it your attention, develop that thought, let it become a train of thought. But you might stand back and watch your thoughts and choose not to. It's up to you. Let's try it now. Just watch your thoughts. You see what happens when you start to watch? That gap starts to appear in your mind. Now, if you're very lucky, and this is really rare to start with, but if you're very lucky and you watch alertly, you might find that the voices, that your mind goes completely quiet, that there's a period of absolute silence. What we call thoughtless awareness. But what's much more common to start with is for the thinking to continue. It's not going to stop straight away. But when you start watching, something happens. There's a gap starts to appear. If you're aware of your thoughts, then you're no longer the thought. And it's losing its power over you. Now, one of the first things you'll notice when you start to watch your thoughts is just how useless so many of them are. Thinking is a powerful tool. You need it. You're not going to survive very long without it. You need to think to function in this world. But most of the thinking we do is not necessary. Maybe 90% of our thinking is completely useless. It's thoughts we've had 1,000 times before, thoughts we go over and over and over again. Some of them we picked up from our parents. They go back generations, some of these thinking patterns. And quite a large proportion of our thinking is pain-provoking. It causes us emotional distress. God, this lockdown's a test, isn't it? The terror in people's eyes. No, I'm not saying you don't take sensible precautions. Of course you do, but that fear doesn't protect you. In fact, it lowers your immune system. It makes you much more vulnerable to getting ill. Not only does it make you more vulnerable to getting ill, but it makes every waking moment a nightmare. And if your mind is prone to worry, and you're watching, you might simply choose to watch that thought and to let it go. You get the idea? So what I'd like you to do, this is your first bit of homework really, is to start to observe your thoughts and see where your mind goes, see what it does. What does it do? Does it like to worry? Mine does. Mine could worry for England. In fact, I've even caught myself worrying that there was something really important that I need to worry about that I've forgotten. I know! It will worry about anything. What does your mind like to do? Is it always moaning? Oh, terrible. And this is wrong and that's wrong. How can you enjoy your life with that going on in your head? It's all terrible. Well, yeah. It is through that mindset. Congratulations. You're right. Your prize? Misery. It's not your fault if your mind does that. You're not to blame. You didn't choose that. You don't choose to worry or choose for your mind to moan. In fact, till now, you had no choice. It's only when you start to watch and pay attention, do you have any choice? Does your mind tell you off? You're rubbish, you're no good, you got fat legs. Does it even like you? Well, you want a friend like that, would you? You would unfriend them from Facebook. But they're living in your head. Have you got the judge living in your head? Guilty. Yep, your fault. It's your fault. You're to blame for everything. Look, I'm not going to go poking around in your head. I do not want to know what is going on. You can keep your mental disturbance to yourself. But what I'd like you to do is to, from this point on, just pay attention. Oh, there I go again, reliving that awful thing that happened. Or there I go again, worrying about that thing. Or there I go again, beating myself up. Or there I go again, moaning and complaining. And that's enough. Just watching is not going to stop it straight away. But every time you see a pattern of thinking that is going to cause you some mental disturbance, and you take your attention away, you saved yourself from some pain, haven't you? Not just you, but everybody else. Because you're going to be a whole lot nicer to be around, aren't you? So if you won't do it for you, do it for everybody else, eh? So, I want you to start to watch your thoughts. I think it has its place. It's a useful tool. And when it's directed by you, when it's not cluttered with all that nonsense, unhelpful stuff, it's a very powerful tool. And even analytical tasks that require a great deal of thought work so much better when you can create a little bit of mental space. Don't think you're going to become more stupid. Far from it. Every time you let go of a pattern of thinking that is not serving you, you've just got smarter. And in that quiet space, that's where your real intelligence lies. That's where your insight is. That's where your creative thoughts are. That's where smart ideas come from. They've never been thought of before. Combine that, the right brain, those new areas of the brain that we're developing in this practice, with your left brain, with your thinking, your analysis. Wow. Using both sides of your brain at the same time. That's pretty smart. Thinking with insight.